I'm that girl who is super happy to be here with you today. So, how are you going? What's new for you? What is looping in your mind? What have you unpacked? What have you discovered? What have you overcome? What have you embraced? And what have you celebrated? Our journeys together are so profound. This information that we are hearing from sessions is mind blowing, super reassuring, super intriguing in so many ways, and yet so familiar and so deeply resonating with us, even though, for example, with the Tonga thing, I was just hoping and just wanting to believe it's just natural. It's just natural. This is the way of things. Whoever could possibly want to do something destructive? Indeed, who? And it is fine. It is their choices. It is obviously allowed. They're allowed to have this behavior. It is condoned. Condoned, is that the right word? To be able to do these things. So super purposeful. You know that our collectives are watching them and observing them, and they can do amazing things. They can do so much from their perspective, and the whole concept of what they can do with time, what they can do with timelines, and what they can do to guide us is profound. Obviously, we know that they can't interfere with our free will unless there is something that is really profoundly impacting other people's free will and other people's life choices and contracts. So big concepts here. It's super easy to trip into the 3D fear of worry, scare, all of that dense range of emotions. And remember, we're not beating ourselves up or feeling guilty for the range of emotions we're allowed to feel here. This is part and parcel of our journey. So when we allow ourselves to have these feelings and emotions, to overcome them and put them into place and to put them in that higher perspective, that's where we get our inner peace. And I know that there is a lot of information that feels really repetitive, and it is repetitive to remind us, to help us, because sometimes we get so distracted in the dramas and in the worries and the events and everyone reacting and everyone being afraid and everyone, being really just really confused and disconnected with what is happening and why. And so when you're hearing and seeing all of the agendas that are not empowering humanity, we can definitely get frustrated with that. We can definitely go into density with that. And that is fine. Those experiences are to be had, and that is totally fine. It would be strange if we didn't have any thoughts and feelings and emotions about the hidden agendas. It's quite common for us to feel bad about our choices for our own dipping into the 3D drama and experiencing it. But those lessons, when we overcome them, is worth it. So then we can support others who are dipping into that pool of 3D as well. We all know this, and this is all fine as we're still here. So ultimately, we're trying to get our tool belt all prepped and overcome all of the range of emotions to find our neutral, to be of service and supporting others who are not doing so well in the 3D pool of drama and stress and worry and fear and a whole lot of those really hard, and they are challenging emotions. And so we can't just pick them up out of the pool and dry them off and push them on their way, because that is disempowering them. We want to be able to do that, but allow to support them as they pick themselves up out of the pool, as they dry themselves out of the pool and out of the density. So we can be there with them every step of the way, but if we try to overstep and protect them and try to hide them from all the truths and all this sort of stuff, we can accidentally, with so much love, disempower them in their own journey. And so this is when if we love them too much and want to try and protect them too much and expose them to too much, anything that's not of their best good for their own personal journey, this is when we get this disconnect. This is when we see friends sort of having a pause, going in different directions for a bit. It's not because they don't love each other or have profound respect for each other, but it's just that the journey is taking a little bit slower or needs to be different. And so we all know so many people that love doing this journey tied together as a two-man-legged race. And we've heard this a few times where you can accidentally get out of sync because you're still trying to do your own mission and journey. And even though you just love each other so much, you just cannot continue on the pace of the race. So super purposeful. I felt called to channel for you all today. I'm not too sure exactly everything that they want to share with you, with us. So I just know that I was sort of thinking, what would you like me to discuss? And I felt like they were saying, let us take over today. So here it is, them taking over. So I'll just have a little sip of my love. I'm getting way too comfortable, so therefore all of my corny, cheesy jokes are just flying out of my mouth. And I hope that you can appreciate my humor and sorry if you don't, that must be really awkward by now. Okay, so I'm just going to stop distracting myself. Yes. We are here, we are here, we are here. We have been here listening to your explanations and a summary. And we see that you are, while you are still stumbling over your words, you are still articulating the summaries of the messages that we've also been trying to support and endorse and get out and reach many. This is an extraordinary time as many are awakening. It is challenging, but also beneficial for many of those people who are awakening now to have this profound, undeniable proof that there is an agenda here that they have missed, that there is an agenda here that they were distracted with as they were following and leading the truth of their perception of trusting the mainstream media, trusting those who have got those influential roles to guide them. And they have now, many now, have personally experienced their other agenda. It is confusing for them. It is heartbreaking for them. It is making them feel so uneasy and also so unwell. There is much going on with the bodies. Many upgrades of profound significance as they've had many epiphanies along the way. And once you're starting to stop, think for yourselves and do some research, a lot of your trauma and false belief systems are fading away, and that is being purged out of the body. When you have spoken misinformation, when you have been led through misinformation, it gets congested in your throat. It gets congested in your lungs because you are speaking and breathing that misinformation. And so this is what's purging a lot of, it's the density of the mistruth that people have been speaking and thinking for some of their times, even through the education systems, when you have been told certain information. And also we'd like to highlight the religion industry. We said it was an industry. And this is very interesting for you to hear that the religion is an industry. And so while you, with much love, were on your path to find the bigger truth, you also shared and breathed and ate and surrounded yourself with mistruth from our perspective. And so that density of untruth, that density of misinformation has been attached onto you energetically because your cells know the truth. Your soul knows the truth. And as you were journeying along, you were picking up not so much truth. So you had to hold on to that, feel that, and live through that. And as you are now truly stepping into your bigger perspective, your bigger mission, your bigger purpose, you have truly divorced and separated yourselves and released yourselves from that older belief system that no longer serves you. And as we have said before, when you release things that no longer serve you, that will physically need to be released. You're energetically lightening your load. And how that looks for many is purging, releasing, battling. It's like we want to say something like this, which we know sounds very cliche, but within your body, there is light and dark. Do not worry, it is not good or evil or bad. It is simply holding on to density that of things that no longer serve you. The disinformation, shall we say, the disinformation is the dark heaviness within the body, not uplifting you because it's not towards love. It's not towards the higher frequency. It is not enlightening information. It is densifying your bodies, your physical bodies. And so you are purging through that now. You are all vibrating at a higher frequency. And so the more you merge into this higher frequency, because you are growing and expanding and stepping in leaps and bounds in your maturity, when you are not judging as you once were, when you're not dipping into the fear as you once were, you're giving yourselves an opportunity to hold that higher frequency longer with grace and joy and ease. And this looks fantastic from our perspective because you're all, as the vehicle would say, living with jazz hands. Constantly jazz handsing people at the supermarkets with your acknowledgement of eye contact and a smile and kindness in your voice, compassion in your glance. Your growth and your maturity makes us so proud because we know how easy and tempting it is to shut the world down and say, stop, this is not what I came here for. And we say with much love and much sincerity, it is. You came here to be that light bearer. You came here to love all and not have conditions or judgments or limits, to loving all. We are hearing someone say to us, so I love all, and it's exhausting because everyone comes to me and everyone's leaning on me. And it is hard. It is so hard because I just constantly feel like I'm supporting everyone, but there is no one supporting me. So we say to that person, we are here supporting you always. And this is the challenge of being a leader, being the most high frequency vibrational being that many in your circle know. And so you're so attracted to them because they feel your upliftment, they feel your power, they feel your strength, they feel your balance, they feel your inner wisdom. And so you are the light and they are the moths seeking that comfort, seeking that security, seeking that support. You can't blame them for wanting that security. You can't blame them for wanting that love. And we know that you're not. But this is why you need to empower yourself to be that strong pillar, to be that focal center point for those people who are coming for you and to you for support, guidance, and love. We know that sometimes you do feel like you need to lean on someone else because it gets tiring. And sometimes you feel that you get so distracted being of service, you can't support self. For those people who is resonating with this information, because we see it often, understanding your role as being a leader and that pillar for your community is a very challenging task when you're disbalanced yourself. This is why we have asked you with much love to do more self-love, self-care, because when you go down, you collapse your community. When you're not truly empowering yourself, you're not supporting the community in your full potential. So when you're noticing you're feeling overwhelmed, look and seek and find within you what you need from others. You're very capable of providing it for yourself. But we understand that sometimes you just want to be picked up and nestled and nurtured and supported and loved. And your teams will be able to do that for you when you ask, use your free will. This is why many of you have found like-minded friends who are their own individual pillars of their own communities. And that is fantastic because you don't drain each other, you empower each other. And so you are not needing to be in a single isolated being just supporting all with no one to support you. Yes, you can fully support you. Yes, we can fully support you. But there are many other like-minded people that don't want to take and drain you energy-wise, but they match your own frequency. And we've also recommended that you ask use your free will and ask to be guided to those like-minded matches. You may hold the same frequency and still have completely different belief systems. So remember, you don't know life contracts. You don't know the significance and the purpose and the missions. Each individual leader, we say leader, but it may just be a support person, an individual higher frequency being. And they're everywhere. And they are servicing many different perspectives. So when you accidentally on divine timing and intervention, when we merge those same frequency matches, sometimes you've misunderstood that this is your frequency match because you're hoping that they would be carbon copies of you, having the same belief systems, the same awareness to other agendas. So it can be confusing, but luckily with your empowerment to love all and respect all, understanding all life contracts, and understanding there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes to motivate people with different belief systems to support different people. You know, for those people who have listened to our information, for example, the 5G technology is a misdemeanor. It is a fear-based information that is trying to worry the truthers and the spiritual people who are very much aware that there is so much disempowerment and harmful things happening. We say harmful in quotation marks, but because you can now see the vehicle translating our information to you, we don't need to say in quotation marks much anymore because you can see her doing such. And so For those people who have overgrown the 5G disinformation, we want to say nonsense, but we understand that this was another part to awaken people. So those people who are still high frequency, who still believe in that disempowerment, we have said many times that is because they have not stepped into their full trust of us, and they are not really truly understanding what is going on here. But you could be at the same high frequency and the same match, and yet one believes in 5G is going to be a weapon of mass destruction, and the other person may not believe that anymore because they've seen that this is just another fear-based example of control. And so this is what we're saying: two leaders, two high frequency vibrations, and yet one person is still buying into a narrative of fear. It doesn't actually drop their core frequency. So this is interesting that you may need to hear this, because you're still trying to understand and you're still trying to find your soulmate. Oh, we tried to do air quotes. You still may be trying to find your soulmate, your companion, not in a relationship wise, but on a spiritual journey wise. And so you're hoping that you will find like for like and belief systems. And as we have said, the information that we share in sessions and the informations that we share through this vehicle is this is not judgment, but this is for advanced information for people who are truly wanting to engage in the higher perspective and to be able to overcome in leaps and bounds their 3D range of emotions at an advanced rate. And so this is a journey, but this is a fast tracking one. Of course, we can just give you the information, and it's up to you to be able to process it, digest it, and see it for its truth. And this is why we have said so many times to go within and connect. And the more you can connect in with yourself, the more you'll be able to understand and see for yourself and truly view those other agendas and those other influences and leaders in the truth community and the spiritual community and all other communities where people are at. Comes very obvious when you've already overcome fear and you've identified what it looks like with this information. It's fantastic times for you to be in neutral and observe it all, but realize that those influences who are still spreading fear, how much that is impacting their own followers. And it can be disheartening to see those people who are trying to lead people out of the darkness of one agenda into the pockets of their own. So you having your own moral compass and your own connection to your own teams is vital for you to navigate faster out of this, to be of them true service. But of course, this information is only for those people who want to be more, as they know that they are very much capable of more. There is no peer pressure here. We know your life contracts. We know what you have signed up for. And so we are lovingly reminding you of this through the veil of forgetfulness. You've asked us to remind you. You've asked us to give you a definite sign, an undoubtable sign. And so we have once again provided that for you. And for a few of you, this is the message today. We do have many other things we want to say, and we are finding the most appropriate one to share now. This is this is one that the vehicle is questioning the significance of. We are wanting to reach out to those QHHT and BQH practitioners who are wanting more support for their work and their skill sets. And we encourage you to speak to the vehicle as she has got the ability to be able to see what is going on for you. And so we would like her to be open to those who are wanting more support on that journey, because it definitely is a learning curve. And many of you have jumped into this thinking this would be an easy way to help and be of service. And the reality is there is much to learn, and this is very hard work. And many of you are privately struggling and not wanting to be honest about that. And so you're just hoping that it will work out. But you're at that point now where you're wondering, where are your clients? And so we're asking you to make the connection. We see a good group of practitioners working together, and this will be an encouraging experience for all. You can't be perfect at something you're learning. It is a journey. There is nothing embarrassing about wanting to learn and better oneself. For those who've been prompted to do the courses to be these practitioners, we encourage you to maximize your skill sets, because this is an important time. And when you're sharing and supporting each other, you can understand the powerful, significant growth. The learning curve will be much shortened as you are learning from each other. But we do see ego here for some. So address that. We feel that this is enough information for today. We would like to come again and express other information, but this is not the time for that. So we say this with much love. Okay, so interesting times. Okay, so I'll have to go back and listen to that. The senses that they gave me was some are very exhausted in this being a leader and being a supporter. And it's almost like they're wanting to remind some people that you did have a really supportive person in your life, but maybe because they were like still buying into 5G or something like that, we sort of thought, oh gosh, no, they can't be our match. We're so much more mature than that. And so I'm getting a sense that sometimes we expect, like for like, exactly the same. And I don't know if that is possible to have exactly the same, but it feels like they really want people to connect in with physical people in the communities. So whatever that looks like, I'm trusting that this will resonate for the people that it needs to resonate with. And I will just send you so much love. I hope you're having a fantastic day. And I really appreciate everyone who is remembering the purpose and the reasons why they are here. It is definitely a process, and it's definitely, it's a lot sometimes. Often I sort of think, oh, do I really want to help? Do I really want to do anything? Am I making a difference? And I constantly just sort of think, is any of this helping? And, I have those brief moments where I just sort of think, I check myself, like, am I disempowering anyone? And, and then I kind of like move forward and try and figure out and unpack what's going on. And it's a lot. It is definitely a lot, but I observe what I am thinking. And sometimes if I'm worried about, is this enough? Am I enough? What am I processing? How am I empowering people? I definitely don't want to be that person that drags people out of the pool and forces them to overcome stuff and push them out. I don't want to do that. And I think I may have done that in the past accidentally, not because I didn't believe that they could do it themselves, but it was like I wanted to just do it for them, to help them, and I could see them struggling. So there's a lot that I feel like I need to go through myself and think about and ponder. So anyway, much love to everyone. I hope you are having a fantastic week, and I want to hope that not everyone overthinks things as me. Anyway,